There is nothing better than a victory Monday and Bo Nix besting a first ballot Hall of Famer in Aaron Rodgers in a monsoon when he had 10 days rest, has just weapons all over him in a game that we were supposed to lose by more than 8 points. And we get even more great news today. If you're new to the channel, I'm Ben. I'm a diehard Denver Broncos fan, and I'm not surprised by this at all. In fact, I've been calling it, and y'all have been calling it if you actually follow this team. And if you follow this team, it helps me out a ton if you would like and subscribe. So let's dive into some of the good news. Part of the reason this is such great news, and people are like, hey, Ben, chill out a little bit. I like the Broncos too, but it's just been 2 games. The reason I am so hyped is because of how massively disrespected we were all offseason. And all I was saying was like, hey guys, let's actually look at this team, and they're young and hungry. Sean Payton is making all these bodacious claims, and everyone is. Look how long I have to scroll down PFF's ranking of teams till you find the Denver Broncos right there in last position. And according to them, the Broncos just went in as the 32nd best team in the league and beat the number 4 best team in the league. And if you really look at us being 2-2 right now, we have lost 2 games in which we were in 1 score. Bo Nix had a potential to drive us down and beat the Steelers. We were inches away from Bo Nix getting the ball and being able to beat the Seattle Seahawks. And then we go out and beat playoff teams in the New York Jets and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And if that does not get you fired up, y'all should probably check your pulse, because we have proved once and for all that it is not about the talent of your players. The talent in the NFL is so nearly equal. Like, there is so much parity there that there is no team that has just a disproportionate amount of talent. And so it really is the culture of the team that drives its success. And look at how amazing Sean Payton has this culture in step and Bo leaving in what they have. And that should make us all excited. Like, you could truly make an argument, as Benjamin Albright on 850 KOA does, that the Denver Broncos have the 3rd best defense, or probably the best defense in the entire league, with only 1 first-round draft pick, and that is Pat Surtain. And look at all these guys who are undrafted free agents who are stepping up and just playing their absolute cleats off of the field. We look at dudes like Jonathan Cooper, absolute game wrecker. Aaron Rodgers had so many dudes in the backfield. Sean Payton in his press conference today said it will probably be 20 more games until you see Aaron Rodgers pressured and knocked down the way he was in this game. He was hit 14 times in that game. He had 5 sacks, and for a cerebral quarterback like that, who has seen every look a defense could possibly throw at them, it's got to make you incredibly excited to play Gardner Minshew next week and a banged up Justin Herbert. Like, are we going to play another first ballot Hall of Famer this year? I mean, we're going to play Mahomes, but they are falling off the edge, and more players just continue to get hurt and go on long-term injured reserve. You should smash the over win button. The fact that we are predicted to only win 5 games is laughable. It's always been laughable, and we're starting to prove that right now. Looking at just John, you're now starting to see these guys who we've been talking about all the time. Jonathan Cooper, we've said we have a platoon of edge rushers, and Jonathan Cooper has been in the backfield. He might as well be a halfback for most of these teams, because his win rate is insane. That he is the 2nd most chip player in the NFL, meaning teams know, hey, we can't stop this guy, even with a Hall of Fame left tackle, so we better chip and give some help. And even with that, he is fighting through and getting there. Vance Joseph deserves a game ball for the way in which he was able to trick Aaron Rodgers. And for all of the people who are probably blowing up your phone who aren't Broncos fans and looked at Bo Nix has -7 passing yards in the first half and like, oh, you guys aren't any good. Look at Aaron Rodgers, the first ballot Hall of Famer's numbers in the first half, and you know that the rain yesterday was a legit problem for both teams. And when Bo needed to, he led us down the field, and he scored the only touchdown of the entire game. Was a beautiful Bo Nix to Cortland Sutton pass in the back of the end zone. And so he truly did outduel Aaron Rodgers, and that's a fact. That's something you cannot even debate, that Bo Nix, in his 4th ever game as an NFL starter, outduels a Hall of Famer who has a way better offensive line. They overhauled that offensive line. He's got like the top fantasy running back in the entire NFL in Breece Hall. He's picked first on pretty much every fantasy board. He's got incredible wide receiver talents, and they've got a great defense there as well. And that should have you insanely hyped. On top of that, we now are moving into the stretch where we're in games that we actually should win. We have not been a favorite in any of the games we've played yet thus far. We've played all teams who are going to be playing in the playoffs and have been in every game or dominated every game we've been in with them. And now we have the Raiders. And this is the last streak that I've wanted Sean Payton to break. It has not been since I was in high school that we won back-to-back games on the East Coast. Well, he checked that off. It hadn't been since I was in high school that we beat the Bills on the road. He checked that off. Never in my son's lifetime, and he's 7 years old, had we beat Patrick Mahomes. He checked that off last season. And now we need to break our curse of losing to the Raiders. We have not beat the Vegas Raiders since they have been in Las Vegas, and we are primed to be able to do that now, because I actually think this is one of those times where not only do we have more talent than they do, but we have team chemistry and culture. The Raiders barely squeak out a win this week against the Cleveland Browns, the lowly Cleveland Browns, and you see the train starting to fall off the tracks there, and you see Deshaun Watson throwing his right tackle under the bus. The chemistry there is breaking up, which is amazing because we get to play Cleveland later this year, and that's always great. And we go back to last week when the Vegas Raiders, their head coach came out and started throwing dudes under the bus for making business decisions. And you see those business decisions continue as Devontae decides not to play last week because of a hamstring injury. He's on the trade block. Crosby didn't play this week. And I just think we have more talent and we have a together roster who believes in itself. And that should have you insanely, insanely hyped. Again, here, Sire Bettinger broke it down here perfectly for us. Just the fact that if you told me coming into this game that we were going to knock Aaron Rodgers to the ground 14 times, sack him 5 times, one of those, which should have been a strip sack for a fumble, which we were out of challenges and the refs blew that dead prematurely. And the fact of the matter is that he was 4 of 17 on third down. That is incredible. And he didn't throw a single touchdown pass despite all the amazing experience he's had, despite having way better receiving talent, a way better running back. We dominated Aaron Rodgers, and that should have you insanely hyped that our team is ready and poised to go in and shock the world. Other good news that we're getting here is hearing all the players yesterday come out after, just with how hyped they were after their business trip. They hadn't seen family and friends in 10 days, and they're like, no, this is all worth it because these 2 games define our season. We're defining our season on winning these 2 games, and the future is in front of us. We have a lot of very winnable games coming up here. I love the fact that we get to play the Browns as things are unraveling. I love the fact that we get to play the Raiders twice. The Chargers keep that's not the Chargers. Where are the Chargers? Chargers are right here. The Chargers who hemorrhaged a ton of talent, losing their top wide receivers, and they're extremely injured. We get to still play against the Carolina Panthers, and the fact that we are going to be in playoff contention, I really think the national media is starting to glom onto. We even heard yesterday the play-by-play guy said, well, I think the Broncos have finally proved to the league that they are going to be a very tough out. That's all I wanted them to finally say. When he said that yesterday, I just was like, yes, finally people are seeing this. And I think all of my overhypedness for this team will truly start to chill out if we start to get the respect that we deserve. And that is all starting this week as we are going to go 3-2. I've got an amazing week of content. I got a couple crossover episodes going behind enemy lines with Graphic Raider. And y'all need to help me and have my back because those Raiders fans are absolutely relentless. They've already said really mean things about me, but I know you all will have my back, and you all are as hyped as I am. Other great news of the day is that Tyler Bidet looked like a very scary situation with him on the sideline and being carted off on a stretcher with a back injury, a brutal hit. He was able to fly home, is back in Denver recovering there. And the fact that he was able to get on a plane and fly probably means that it is a recoverable type thing. Not sure when he's going to be able to come and make a difference for this team again. I'm just happy for his physical health. We got one more week without Audric Estime, but man, Javonte looked good. We got a ton more in-depth analysis to break down just about why that game was so great, but the vibes are very good. Victory Monday always feels incredible, and I hope you didn't stop believing. Ooh, robbed.